National Development, the party that President Lungu has congratulated. I have no choice but to ask you to react. I know we would have loved to have maybe the elections chairperson or maybe Cornelius Mwetra, the spokesperson, to do that, but you are the President has just mentioned.
Yeah, I think the history of this country, that there is always a smooth transition. There has never been a time when transitions have been marred in confusion to seek power. So I think it's commendable, but it's not unusual. It is consistent with the Zambian democratic principles. And on that note, he had lived Edgar Lungu democratic interests of this country in that regard. So it's a fitting and welcome new leadership. It's therefore important that every new leadership comes forth with new ideas, new programs. We need to move this country forward, build on what has been found, build what has been destroyed in this country to sanity and prosperity for our people. We need employment, we need to restore this country, and we are equal to the task. Right?
Yes, I think that's commendable, and because he's sending a message to the whole nation, and his supporters of the PF, and they have seen how he has conceded. So moving forward, that message will influence the manner in which supported him, voted for him, will unite, will work with the current government. I think that's commendable. That's how it should be.
What does this message tell the Zambian?
It's about peace, stability, and development. The elections are now gone. There's a loser and a winner. And the sooner the loser concedes that they have lost, the better, because then people start looking forward. What agenda do we have in front with the person or the group of people that has been elected to lead us in this nation? Development and just moving forward.
I think in addition to that same question, to understand that in 2001, UPND, the people who voted for UPND in 2001 are the same people who voted in Manawasa, are the same people who voted for Pia Banda, the same people who voted for PF in 2011. The PF government have come back to vote for us. Essentially, we are one people. That's why we call it one nation. The same people make decisions on who to vote for. So it's not like there's a that has come to vote specifically for UPND. This victory is a victory not for UPND itself, but it's a victory for Zambians. There's two. They have to defend their vote. And our UPND is merely a vehicle to ensure the aspirations, the interests, the goals, prudent economic transformation agenda.
You speak as though you were here when we had the MMD. You were seated though. And you did mention to the fact that indeed there's no need to destroy anything that's been built already, simply to build on and there. And he referred us to what the president, founding father of the nation, did when he lost to Frederick Church's Jacob Chiluba willingly. He handed over to the PF, and here we are today speaking the PF handing over to the United Party for National Development. That surely should be. Community looks at Zambia with favor today, and can only imagine the media international this moment.
Yes, indeed. But I also think that we should not overpack ourselves. This is not anything unusual. Peaceful transition. They should become normal. However, we are mindful of the fact that, and therefore we should pat ourselves in the back. We've institutionalized what we've established, these transitional processes, democratic creation processes. We must consolidate and grow. We the Reward Act. You saw the abuse of the breakdown of the rule of law. You know that in this station, many of our people are here to speak coming from the opposition. So, but we don't want to do the same thing. We are beyond that on what we found and build a better Zambia for all. As I said, the people the same people who voted for PF in 2011 and in the previous elections. Never mind the controversies believe were stolen from us. But the point is to build Zambia. And our people, through the unity of purpose that they exhibited in the elections, in the protection of the vote, and in the government peacefully in the manner that just happened.
Bro,
this is good for Zambia.
Zambians should be able to celebrate such moves. Somebody just outrightly concedes defeat like that. But for Zambia, it's becoming a norm. And a norm it should be, because those are constitutional provisions, as the president should call for celebrations by Zambians in a way, to be proud of such transitions.
It's not unusual, like my colleague has said. So it should not be happened, because if we make it very special, it's like it's a gift he has done us a favor. It's not a favor. That's how it should be. And the international observers who came here, because I think they too supported this process, the Commonwealth Union, the EU, so everybody played a part. We have to be a bit realistic. We shouldn't hide anything here. We know there was almost a bit of resistance. I think everybody came on board. Some of our former leaders happened. So we should not really hide too much. We saw it in the media, we read in the media, but this is as it should be. Once you have lost, do so. The next thing, there will be problems. You are actually brewing conflict among your own people. People will be divided.
Watching this transition period and watching us right now on television closely and listening to what you are saying, what should this speak to them as they rise up to take the mantle?
Going forward, Zambia has got so many challenges. There's a lot that has happened in the past that needs to be addressed. Huge challenges, socio-economic challenges, arose mainly during the past 10 years. Our social fabric has been devastated. So we need to come together now and look forward. How do we rebuild Zambia? Re-establish respect for the rule of law. How do we fight corruption? Because if you don't fight all those things, whatever other efforts you make to develop our country, it will be exercises in futility. So going forward, really, we need now to come together, support the vision that the new president has for a prosperous Zambia, for a united Zambia. So this is will come together, and we've already seen it. We've seen our youth from all over the country. They are calling us, they are calling him, they are outside there, they are all celebrating. So there's no question about it. It's like a relief. Some of them are saying, what a relief, being changed. They were unable to express themselves, the reality that they felt. Our own people were getting 100 kwacha to keep quiet. 100 kwacha which will keep them to buy bread for 4 days. But now they're coming out with a relief that they know.
To what Nevas Mumba of the NMD mentioned, was seated there just a few hours. He mentioned, when I asked him about what should President Lungu feel should, he mentioned and told the nation to say that, well, he shouldn't be disappointed. When he won, he had disappointed somebody. So each person that comes into power, some people that are amidst the UPND members, sympathizers, vote celebrating, there are some people who are agonizing and trying to do with the fact that they have lost. You're telling them?
That is a natural process of political democracy. What UPND intends to do is to deepen that democratic space, democratic institutionalization, so that we begin to expect the possible. The UPND agenda is to ensure that the pain gone through eventually becomes healed. We build a new Zambia and move forward. Okay, that's what has to be done. We embrace it. We want to, first of all, this country was divided. We want to reunify, bring the motto of one Zambia, one nation, really together. I'll tell you one honest thing, the national anthem, was I never felt free, proud and free in this country. And there are many people who feel so. So whatever the pain of a transition is, in the end, responsibility to unite all Zambians, to develop a trajectory of economic transformation, political, democratic dispensation that is also good for everyone. And therefore, peace, tranquility, and prosperity are found in building a country. And that UPN is committed to do.
I ask this question, can have threats such as this going forward so that we can maintain the status quo? How do we do that?
How do we do that? We need, I think I like to echo what the previous speaker here actually made when he said holding public office needs certain levels of accountability. But one of the big, to add my own words in addition to what he said, is that this country, and I can't speak for other countries, is the only avenue where there are no qualifications. Job seekers with no qualifications, with no education, enter the political game, fundamentally because we have no standards. So, in preparing the future of this country, we need to build what is required of you to hold public office. Should you come from Katondo Street buying and selling and become a president or minister of defense? Those are the questions we must answer. That we need you need leadership that is expected, the qualifications.
Should there be an academy to raise such ones?
Mentorship, a training program. I mean, for instance, there was a leadership training, something. I think NIPA could bring back a number of other institutions in public leadership, as opposed to job seeking. Service to serve the people after you've played the role in society yourself. That is why the anti-corruption drive must be robust. Resources are protected and not planned, so that you can deliver for the good of the people. So, not steal money without consequence. You cannot abuse. We want to move the anti-corruption fight, for instance. We want to institutionalize it in the Anti-Corruption Commission and other investigative wings. So that when you ask me something anti-corruption, I'll tell you, well, I think the best answer will come from the Anti-Corruption Commission. So that we are linked. We must focus on delivering goods and services to our people as part of the institutions of governance.
All right.
So that's very important.
That was focused indeed on developing Zambia infrastructure sector. And remember the 7th National Development Plan, 7NDP, they're speaking to the anyone behind, and that is one thing that will go down with the memory and in memory of 6th President, and also President for all nations is another phrase that will certainly go there. Outgoing is that each one of them had a female vice. Winner was Vice President of the Republic of Zambia, running mates to Edgar Chávez 2016 general election, and as government does it, that particular crop of leadership steps down, having also leadership Hakainde Hichilema and the Vice President Mutale Nalumango, who was head teacher or headmaster, if you would like, at Ngwerere Basic School then in Ngwerere in Garden Compound of Lusaka, and used to trek to Garden Compound when she was actually a head teacher at that particular school. And so those, each one of them has a female vice president. That role should encourage the female president.
But it's not only that, because it's not every woman who should be picked vice president who qualifies to be a running mate, to be a vice president rather. She has proved to have the capacity. She has proved to be committed to the cause, to the vision. On that, basically, that almost everybody was hoping that the president of the party actually public. So we are happy. She has got a track record. She has proved that in her personal life, as an individual in a private life, career as an educationist, as a teacher, and she has proved that in politics. So we are as a vice president.
You can add, John.
Yeah, I think this is a testimony to the growing trend to create gender balance in politics.
It's not that women are being contract with a woman, you will not be accepted.
Whatever the reasons are, different reasons for adopting a woman, right? Or for having a running mate who is a female. For us, regarding and elsewhere have done, we have a commitment to gender equity. And therefore, women play an important part in our struggle. They are the ones who defended the vote. They are the ones who turned out to vote. They're an important ingredient. They shouldn't just be footnotes in politics. I've come with a woman as well, demonstrating effectively that we are partners. Is committed to gender equity. But it's important to understand that part of the definitions of gender parity or equity is that we come from a legacy of, and therefore many women of quality, because of the to join politics, it discourages professional women, and you even find to be discouraged from joining politics. The UPND agenda is to level the playing field. So men of quality can join the political game. We can have the best men and women, not chancers who trip and fall. So we need to prepare the question you raised, preparation of generational preparation for generational transitions, but building quality leadership among the youth, among the women.
That's address that.
And precisely, we can address that. I'll give you an example. Gender parity has been achieved at grade 1 entrance, let's say lower primary school. But that gender parity collapses as you go to higher grades. There are many factors. The issue here is to address those factors that make the girl child. But it's important to understand that also many male children also drop out of school than the male child. So let's address some factors are common to both genders. Conditions. Our party must will address those issues so that even in all arenas of governance, we should have a.
Great.
But it's not just about women, about the disabled, the handicapped, the differently abled, and all those who are people living with disabilities, ethnic groups that have no space in politics. We must address those, and UPND.
Got to hear that. Just in case you're joining us here on NBC TV1, a public service broadcaster, you addressed by the President Edgar Chagwa Lungu outgoing. As he indicated to the nation, he concedes defeat and he's grateful to the Zambians for the opportunity you gave him for about 6 years or so. And also he says he's thankful to everyone elections on the 12th of August 2021, and he's wishing the incoming president all the best as they go about changing and implementing the ideas that they do have for Zambia. I did indicate that he goes down into the history of political Zambians, influential Zambians, focused on infrastructure development with the motto, leaving no one behind, as constructed and coined in the National Development Plan. The incoming president has also something that we are already relating him to, and the focus on him is economic recovery and bringing all the systems into place to make sure that Zambia stands out well in terms of economic prospects. The agriculture sector is also his passion, because he himself, in his rise to what he is today, the documentary there highlights him that the country has ever had, and also participated in various corporate organizations at the center of his case. But with the people such as the ones we have in studio on his disposal, so we are headed for victory, are we? Is that a yes or no?
Certainly. We are.
There's somebody out there who could be wondering as to how you will get both the young and the old together. Time chit chat you have?
The young, if you are talking of within the party, that has already started.
Okay.
Yes, because when the party comes to power, it doesn't mean that all the policies and all the manifestos. So for us, this is a journey that has been ongoing, and it's a journey that we intend to continue pursuing. And yes, the blood of everybody in the provinces, coming from different ethnicities, all those, that's why we're talking about a united and prosperous Zambia. We mean we are very inclusive, so the journey has started for us.
Dr. Biani, a look at the education sector comes with quite many facets, because one faces of education now is the shift from a one-on-one, for example, talks about virtual technology and things like that. All right, President-elect is ready at Newcastle at his residence. Let's go there.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the press, distinguished invited, all protocols observed. Welcome to Community House. To this historic moment, as today, Community House plays host to Zambia's incoming Second Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. I am your moderator today, the Alliance Media Director, and I am not alone. I'll be assisted by my co-moderator, the Choma Central Member of Parliament, spokesperson, Honorable Cornelius Mwitwa. At this point in time, I would like to invite all of us to sing the national anthem. The national anthem, please.
Zambia, proud and free, enjoy your name.
All right, we'll be going back to the residence of the seventh president, who will be addressing at that particular briefing. So stay with us. We're trying to make some particular audio that's coming from there. So don't go away. Stay with us. And obviously, just like you at home are highly expectant to listen to the president. Let's take you back.
When we stand under the flag of Zambia, praise to thee, oh, and strong and free.
Although we all need to learn the national anthem, allow me to call upon Pastor Kangwa to come and give us an opening.
We pray. Our Lord and our God, we thank you for the peace over this. Thank you, Lord, for answering the people's cry. We thank you, Lord, for this day. Lord, we ask that you will grace Republican President-elect with wisdom, our Vice President, our country. Father, we pray that may the unity and the prosperity of this nation come to pass.
Thank you very much. At this point, allow me to call upon my co-moderator, Honorable Mwitwa, to come.
I think we can ask everybody else to take their seat.
My job this morning is very simple. It has been a long wait to this place. Some of us have even lost track of time. It's very simple this morning. A long journey has come to an end, and a more difficult today. There, I want to take this opportunity to recognize our midst the presence of the incoming of the Republic of Zambia, President-elect Hakainde Hichilema. Flanked by running mate, who is now Vice President Nanamango. We also have in our presence the honor of having Zambia, Dr. Guy Scott, the chief advisor in this campaign to the president-elect. The honor of having all the alliance partner presidents. I will highlight their names because they are all the same, they are all presidents. But in their midst, there is the alliance chairperson, Charles Milopi. And next on Mr. Akapumba, the NPC leader. Right, we do have Dr. Ernest Mwansa, and next to him is Mr. Seoyemba and Dr. Shimu. And of course, to the far right is Honorable Felix Mutati, and behind there, of course, is the Secretary General of GC, Honorable Mulusa. Is not a president. We do have in our presence, I think, the presence of Mr. Msoni, who said, if I haven't recognized any one of you colleagues present, I apologize. Coming to where we are, this is a historic moment of Zambians have been waiting for, as evidenced that characterized this particular election. The expectations of the people are high. The nation is anticipating to hear the voice of the next president of the Republic. President Hakainde Hichilema, here is the nation listening. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. To start by recognizing our colleagues in the leadership of our movement. I shall repeat to recognize our leaders of the movement, the UPND Alliance, and I hope we can be orderly for just a few minutes. Get done with the business of now. I was just recognizing the leadership, the UPND Alliance, all the constituent parties, the Alliance, of course, respective members of those component parties. Dr. Guy Scott, who served as our president. Thank you for being here, Dr. Scott. I believe we should recognize all of you that are here, but truly to recognize the media that have worked with us through this, the international media that have been available. They could not open their mouths lest they got arrested. Was there. The Global Village media was there. Thank you for that. Colleagues that are following this short address through various platforms. My fellow citizens here, honor, humility, gratitude to say change is here. The voters of Zambia, and through them, the people of Zambia have prevailed. I think that's very important. The voters decided who should lead them for the next 5 years, and not those who can't vote. Very important for democracy. Zambia, therefore, has this victory does not belong to HS to Bali. This victory belongs to the men and women of Zambia, especially the youth. This was your election. You started by registering in large numbers under very, very restrictive and difficult conditions. You were in the queue to register as voters. I think the signal was sent that time that the youth of Zambia are in a position for the 2021 elections. We took note of that. I think some people did not take note of that. To register as voters, the queues were long to vote for change. And you did vote for change. We thank you for that. It's befitting to say this was your election. It was your election. The numbers that turned out to vote, large numbers, the energy and passion that was by this young population. This population that owns all probability, they are likely to live longer than others. So they have a higher stake to what happens to their country. You send a clear message, resounding message, that you've stated your intentions. We have heard you. Although this message you've tasked onto the running mate, not elect, but in situ, in the UPND alliance, indeed the people of Zambia, those that are card-carrying members of our component parties are dead more than the ordinary citizens that voted for us. Look at the numbers. People of Zambia, who have given us such a huge resounding mandate and to deliver on the, it is in no doubt what the instruction is to all of us that have been into office at such a very, very difficult time. We understand what you've done. We understand what you want us to do. We are under no illusion. We know want to thank you at this stage for your support. And we pray that we will be worth of your trust. We will be worth of your confidence. Placed on our shoulders to deliver, to answer your cry for change. Fellow citizens, it is indeed, it's a new beginning for all of us. Sure. Please take care of them. Let's continue with the business. Please take. With the election behind us, let us come together as Zambians, as a family. And that's what we are. Once again, we have an opportunity to return to what we knew when some of us were growing up. Zambia, one nation. And this to us is not a phraseology. It's not a matter of playing with words. This we should translate in everything we do. Things that we work on to truly walk one nation. It is easy to talk. It's easy to say. But we want to demonstrate that we will walk the talk. And you will see that very soon, starting with the cabinet. This cabinet. See that, and you make your own judgment. And we'll send a signal. That phraseology, we will leave it just a few days from now. Start marking the script of what we've been saying, of reuniting this country. And I can assure you in advance, we will get a high mark for it, even from to those, thank you, who voted for other candidates. This is competition. This is not war. This is a competition to serve. And we want to recognize the fact that candidates. And we say to all of you who voted for other candidates, we extend a hand. A hand of friendship, our respect. We decided to vote for alternative candidates. It doesn't, it just reinforces the importance of democracy, its value, the choices that people must continue to take away citizens' choices. What they want to be in their country, the opportunities to make their decisions. And it should help nobody. Any cause for jail sentences for people to express their views in they want to live their lives. As long as they do that within the laws, that should be promoted. And we want to thank you, such voters. Record our respect for you. Please get to know that. Though today you may be disappointed, we wish to embrace you. As your brothers, those of us who seek public office must get it and get it straight. We're servants of the people. I think it's very important. On that score, I wish to confirm that I and our team, we will be, for me, president, and for others, servants for all of our citizens across the 10 provinces of Zambia. It does not matter how you are. It won't matter how you look, by height, features. It won't matter. under this administration, it will not be who your father is, because you never made that decision as to who will be your mother and your father. But you will be an equal citizen of this beloved country called Zambia. Mark our words, get your script and your pencil as we serve you in the months, in the years to come. And after 5 years, take your tour and see. I think we will pass with flying colors. For those that voted for us, and for those that did not, you will be treated equally. Shall I repeat that? For emphasis, and you know what I mean. When I say those that voted for us, and those that did not vote for us, you will be treated equitably, fairly. That's important to us. That's important to us. We will run this country without preference over another. Absolutely no preference at all. We will govern without selectivism. We will serve knowing that all citizens to us are identical twins in the way we see you, in the way we serve you. It will not matter what your name is, your surname is, civil service, to be permanent secretary, to be secretary, won't matter. What will matter? One, you are a citizen of Zambia. Two, that you are competent for the job at hand. That's it. That's it. Nothing else. And feel safe that no one will retire in national interest, yet is under the guise of personal interest. Nothing of that sort will happen ever, not under our administration. And I send a signal to all my colleagues in other portfolios that you're not coming into cabinet to marginalize citizens. It's as simple as that. That of inclusivity, equality, recognizing that the concept of unity in diversity. 72 ethnic gifts from God. Sometimes minor variations in the culture. We will not focus on the differences. We will focus on the things that should unite. Isn't it? Big difference from what we've been seeing over the years. Sometimes colleagues fear to say things the way they say it, because they say things that they don't believe in. We harbor no such fears. We say things because we believe in them. You ever heard? We say we're consistent because we believe in certain things, in those things that should better your lives. So there must be no secrets around those issues, because performance going forward. Shall I say that now is the time to move beyond the partisanship of the election? To some people, invokes anger, and to some people, they say what has been said about another human being. Understand, people who sang the song of ethnic hatred throughout their campaign, their hometown, they lost to us, who they demonized. Now is the time. Now is the time to, for they did not know what they Now is the time for us to show them the better side of life and perception of other humans. I guess we'll learn a lesson going forward, that divisiveness will get you punished. I'm proud of the voters of Zambia across the country. I'm very proud of you voters, the 18 million plus Zambians. You have said no to ethnic divide. Look at the results. Look at where our votes are coming from. Look at these millions of votes in provinces of Zambia. Against an occasional hate messages promoted by those on such people, but did not. It only tells you a message that they actually sent them out to say those things against fellow citizens. That should come to an end. You BND, you are not about to replace those individuals with yourselves. Not different from those individuals. I hope I'm clear about it. Let us put the past behind us. For it is what we do now, in the present, completely. At this stage, I seek your attention, added attention, more than what you've granted me already. I want to spend a minute or so to talk about violence, lawlessness. Let me be clear. We are categorically clear about we are victims of demonization, mudslinging. You all know that. We are victims of. We are not about to take public office, replace those that have been very violent against our people, and only to. We're not about to be that. Absolutely not. I have heard, I have seen on social media, some people out there property are citizens. Some citizens. I said citizens. I'm aware that some of those citizens were the violent ones against us. But I say it to you that if you want to show that you occupy a high moral ground, even when you know who attacked you before, under this brutal regime which is existing, if you want to show that you're different from them, do not damage property, someone's property. Let national assets, it includes individual assets. So, the property, none of you, I repeat, none of you should damage anyone else's property, even when you know you abused you. Because if you do that, you are no different from those people. We are different from those people. And that's why Zambians have given us this huge mandate to correct those wrongs. Please, do not cause violence out there. Please do not damage property, public property, private property. Sure, because you know the owner, and the owner of you are taking away someone's job. Tomorrow they will not be able to work in that. But in our manifesto, we are talking about creating jobs. You are negating the very reason that Zambians have voted for us. That's not who it is. Follow my example. Demonized, arrested 15 years, going into office to arrest those who arrested us, because then we are no different from them. Nami kuba bana wa Yesu. Nami lomba. Come out of the streets. Come out of the streets with bad intentions. If you want to harm somebody, if you want to damage someone's property, I know you may be angry. I know you were tear-gassed over the last. I'm one of you, but I'm not bitter. Follow my example. Follow my example. Show magnanimity. You should celebrate. It's called for celebration. We are grateful for your graciousness. Of the 16, amongst the 16 or so presidents, a greater number of them have formally, they have congratulated us, which we have won, which has been delivered by the people of Zambia. And this win is for you as well. Believe us, you will see that in the months ahead. This acknowledgement of our victory, not to be said by the people. And a few minutes ago, this list of competitors in the presidential race have added on a colleague who was slow. I'm sure he had his own reasons. President Edgar Chagwa. I want to thank you, sir, for conceding defeat and for indicating that you, I don't want to call it power, or servant leadership. I think it's the barest minimum of office. As you exit, you facilitate the new entrance in the country and its people where you left it. It's the barest minimum. I'm sure the people of Zambia in advance, when our time to leave comes, we'll graciously leave. We will support the incoming team. To be an incoming team, you better work hard because we are going to raise the standards. I encourage you to work harder because this team has not come to celebrate. This team has come to work. To work and more work. Hard work, diligent work. In my early days in the profession, working hours. I don't believe in working hours. I believe in the outcomes. You will see this in this administration. And I think you will appreciate a few years from now. And that's why we believe we will earn your confidence within the laws. Third term is not part of our language. Not part of our language. It should not be part of any. And you, the lawyers, must deal with those lacunas. Talking about this from the Chona Commission, in the Manakatwa Commission, Mwamba Commission, I'm talking about Constitutional Review Commissions. Why should anyone in office beyond the limit that the Zambians have decided? More than 10 years. What do you want to do beyond 10 years, which you couldn't do in 10 years? If you couldn't do certain things, you would have set the institutional arrangement and the platform for others to continue. That's how the relay race works. I trust that my colleagues on the so thank you. And you will be okay, sir. foster a better democracy. A better democracy, being integral to that, restoring order, respecting human rights, liberties and choices, media. There's a new dawn for you. We will tear gas you in the exercise of your duties. Isn't that good? Zambians should be at par with other citizens of a democratic country around the world in the barest minimums that right to take away those minimums from its own population. Even those minimums. Watch the space. We are just playing with words. I'm not talking about lawlessness here. I'm not talking about corruption, because we have a zero tolerance to corruption. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about your rights, your liberties within the laws, your freedom to aspire to be anything you wish. I never thought that I would sit and seek the presidents of this country. As I was born in a village, grass-thatched house, went to school first 3 years, no shoes. But I got the opportunities for all our children to better what HH has become. And more so in the last few days, when Zambians decided us with this rare opportunity to save them. Why should that be? Not at all. I want to invite all of you to acknowledge that we work together with you with us for all our people. For all our people. I would like to take this opportunity, my running mates, all the members of the UPND Alliance, our candidates across this four-sum election, councillors, mayors, chairmen, members of parliament. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank all of you for participating in this election, for winning, and for service. Not as masters, but as all our members, well-wishers who worked tirelessly, bullets, tear gas, being detained at airports, to use airspace. But you endured. I want to acknowledge now, I can reveal a bit of a strategic underground volunteers. As we were facing tear gases, as we were not allowed to go to, we had an underground movement of volunteers who were working quietly. On top, you could not see them every day. And when I saw them, I smiled. And I knew they were doing the job. Thank you to you. We will not be here today without your help, without your commitment to duty to the people of Zambia. We're gracious. No one did more work than the other. And put together is delivered. We've delivered. I want to thank my beloved wife. Who has always been on my side. Good times, difficult times. She's been there. I want to encourage young people, please support each other. Even girlfriend, boyfriend, please support each other. respecting each other, understanding being husband doesn't make you superior to your wife. I say it without blinking, because I know what some husbands do. I also know what some wives do to their husbands. My kids, thank you to you, the rest of the family. We appreciate your enduring love to us, great source of strength. We give thanks to God that Almighty. This day would have never been possible. My fellow citizens, to revive our economy and deliver on our expectations. The journey, there will be ups and downs, but I'm certain that with hard work and commitment, in building a better life for all our citizens. I do believe in that. My masters, our masters, the people of Zambia, for the huge, and we will serve you better. I believe in that. We will not let you down. God bless you all, and God bless the Republic of Zambia. Thank you for listening. Limited to a subject. The question must be limited.
Thank you very much. We now take questions should be strictly limited to the subject discussed here. And remember what we agreed earlier on. One question per person. No, we'll start with one.
Okay, my name is Sonda.
Oh, he's dead.
She started already. She started already. She started already.
So in line with the issue of freedom that you talked about, just want to find out what members of the body said as far as operating independently and creating issues to both from the private and public sector without having to worry about evidence.
Thank you. Thank you.
Please state your name and the media organization you're coming.
My name is Beauty Products, coming from Media Beauty.
Yeah, Janet.
It's a media house.
It's not the media house.
Sorry.
Yeah, you can.
Congratulations for the resounding victory. Now, within what period have you said that Zambia should be able to make change and transformation that you promised?
So we'll allow the president to respond, and then we'll come back.
Shall we just underscore something here? Media will come from questions. We should not restrict the questions in terms of whether it's a. I don't mind, as long as you stay within the subject, as per the Director of Ceremonies. The onus is on you to ask a polite question. But I'm saying, and that culture you will see going forward, to give you the freedom to ask the question you want, is a no-go area. Thank you. Chikumbika, private, public. I actually covered in my speech that the fourth estate, and there's another question connected to that. I think number media freedoms, access to information, freedoms, media, private, public. To us, the fourth is not just a medium because you are media, because you transmit, you are the platform. You are not just a road for information. You are an important part of the checks and balances. You are an important and eyes of society. Cover the two questions in one as I answer. We believe in self-regulation, which means that the access to media freedoms, regulations that are there, if not sufficient to give you the freedom and self-regulation, they will be enhanced. They will be enhanced. Self-regulation that will allow you to exercise your professionalism that must be fair. You must cover people equitably. You must project hate message. It is not a platform to commit crime, but it's an opportunity to deliver it in a manner that is professional. And you'll be able to control self-regulation, true self-regulation, not symbolism, when that simple, straight. Here's what you want to hear from the UPND government is not there to cut the media. The UPND government is not on television, not there to do that. Prime, I see your sign. Sorry about what happened. It will not happen under our government, under our administration. You will operate as a business. You know your obligations to operate as a business. We're not there. But no political hand will be there to shut down us. We are victims of the media shut out on us. And welcome to this house. That reaction from the public underscores our answer to these two questions, that the media must be open to all. It's not a tool to gag, to demonize. Earlier I talked about hate language. That was our competitors. I must say it's not just one. Others were saying it, but because they're small, maybe they were not heard. And you didn't hear us respond. Did you hear me? That is not what the media should exist for. Be fair. NBC operated the way they operated because of political instruction. I want to say to you right away, instruction to control your editorial policy under the UPND leadership. Be a true public broadcaster. Cover the opposition. We will not mind by using you to shut down the voices of the opposition. Roman Amdala. Finish. UPND administration, because it's part of your editorial policy. It's part of your... When you cover other political parties, there will be no minister who will be... must be covered at the main news time. Covers, it's okay. It's all right. Because the media now has grown, technology. If you don't cover news, you will not generate revenue. You may not pay shut down. You wouldn't blame us, isn't it? Would you blame us? If the consumers of your news can't get commercial adverts, then you shut down. We don't want you to shut down. You will see a UPND government that is supportive to businesses. At a young age, that if you want to generate tax revenue, Do not kill the micro business, which may be struggling to pay tax. Help them grow, give them time to pay so they can grow, and you will see that principle applied to other businesses, but media included. I think I've answered that question. Let me deal with Matthew's that to revive the economy will do. Matthew, I ask you to be patient. Inauguration speech, you will see content in there. You will see the thrust of what we're going to do in government. But to give you a hint, we are seeking government for two portals. Two is to reunite this country. We know the value of unity. Is to rebuild, reconstruct this economy. 2A, focusing on the investment opportunity so that we can do 2B, the orphans, the retirees, pay them on time. But you can't do 2B without the economy. That's what has been going wrong in this country. To focus investment expenditure, to grow the economy, to create jobs, and to get our people the food. Matthew, that comes from a functioning economy. Economic policies, lowering the cost of doing business, Matthew, and being predictable, being consistent. What you see in the mining sector, changing policies every day, it will not happen under the UPND. It's a long-term business. I don't want to get too much into that, Matthew. Be patient. I think all things being equal, ceteris paribus, it will happen in a few days' time. And you, before you go, Mare, Brian, period for economic changes. It's begun from this speech. Once we restore the rule of law, once we restore order, it's an ingredient to economic development, bottoming up. You can't invest, no investment. Be candid now, use my own example. And in the last 7 years, about not to invest any more money because the return was not assured, because the environment was hostile, the cost of doing business was high. Business. Once we restore the rule of law, you will see more investment, you will see more economic activity. We start from there. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you. Okay, so we take 2 international questions, 2 local questions. Okay.
Shorter questions, please.
Shorter questions.
Be succinct. That's not control. It's different from control.
Okay, well. Okay.
Congratulations, Excellency. My name is Rose from the program TV. And I want to say thank you very much for all the assurance. Has said a lot of things, especially one greatest fear that most Zambians had, which was used during the campaign, which had to do with tribalism. A lot of people thought that we would be able to change the on that actually. The interest is what you had said before the elections with regard to the election that you think was right. So I don't know, this now you are...
Exchange, different from exchange.
Yes, no, I didn't say exchange.
Getting it wrong. The president said the rates will improve. You are talking about the inflation rate.
Thank you for that guidance. The exchange rate will increase. So I wanted to know, now that you are Republican, for us to see that particular change. Then my second question.
Let's have some order. Let's have some order. Okay. No, said one.
Just control the conflict. Just be orderly. Thank you.
To you are from
UNDP.
I'm coming out this side. I'm asking. Peter, where's our Peter?
My name is Lorenzo from Radio Christian Voice. Congratulations, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Lorenzo.
My question has to do with mining. Kindly guide us your policy on mining. Mining companies are a so one of your policies in trying to arrest that situation and boost productivity in the mining sector.
My name is Butizio from Money Radio. My question is saying that the outgoing president is very safe. And then my question is that in terms of fighting corruption, how assuring the Zambians that you will go back and investigate some of what the previous administration did. When you're leaving office, you make sure that the people that you're taking over from, you don't hurt them, so they don't hurt you when you actually take over.
Right, we can deal with that? Can we? All right, thank you very much. Currency, I wasn't challenging you, I was just trying to make you say what I said. Said is that the quarter against the dollar or other currencies, and that in short is exchange rate. So inflation is a bigger subject, is a subject of other things. Yes, there's a component of inflation arising from the exchange rate effect. So let's not that lecture, because it will confuse people. So I was categoric because that they've delayed this message. I'm sure you know. Delays there. When we get sworn in, we will deliver a more substantive economic and how we run the country. But today, we've started by addressing some of the key things. Rule of law. Freedoms. Human rights, liberties and freedoms. So, package of what the investment community, the trading community, regional and external are waiting for. The menu in there, that would clearly demonstrate the confidence that we are here. Freedoms will be entrenched. Tibunda, no one wants to put money when you know party thugs can come and take away your property, your piece of land illegally. Wait for that. It sounded the initial dose. Just be patient a little bit. Debt is too high. Yes, debt is choking development. Message to lenders. Our message to lenders is very simple. Come to the table. The debt we have is unsustainable. Some of it was accrued incompetently. But we're a decent team. And luckily, them already well ahead. This is the way we operate. You get used to this. Readiness, proper planning, execution of the plans, proactivity. Some we know personally, and they know what we stand for, and they know what to expect. Today is a day I say to the debt stockholders that will take debt seriously, that will not sit and wait until. So come to the table, we will discuss the options that are available, we will do the treatment of your debt. We will not ask you to come to the table to discuss you, and we do an arrangement with you that will allow us the headroom. Apply those resources on the equation side of investment generation and not consumption. I hope you are hearing me. I used to be accused of being too technical, but this debt issue is a technical. So let me simply, you have an administration that will get you to the table where you will be respected. Our views should be heard by you, and will come to an amicable position, number one. Our intent is clear. The debt is too high. It's unsustainable. Simple, straight. So 2, 3, there will be no cross-subsidization of one debt stockholder with another. That's corruption. It will not happen. Equitable treatment. Once we agree a deal with you to allow us breathing, as a country. Otherwise, if we die, as a cattleman, I'll tell you, if you don't expect milk the following day, the teats will be dry and the children will have no milk. So we will need the cow to continue producing milk. We will need to ensure that that milk is not eaten by the owner of the cow, because there's another stakeholder called the calf. For the calf to grow, it needs a bit of milk also, so that tomorrow it can become the cow and produce more milk. Simple as that. Simple as that. I have answered the question briefly. Christian voice policy resources is not an issue. It's been an issue because there's been no leadership to understand that first and foremost, you need a policy to get the investment. Secondly, the investment must grow. For external investment, you must encourage the existing investments to grow. For investment in existing return on investment. But there must be also benefits to other stakeholders. Who else? The Treasury. That's your question. So there's a vested interest, there's a mutuality along the way. There hasn't been an administration that understands that simple rule. This administration understands it. And you see that the mines will come to the table, the mines will pay the mines should grow for them to pay their fair tax. We'll also expect the mines to employ more citizens of Zambia. We don't expect a crane driver to be a foreigner. We expect a crane driver in the mine to be a Zambian. Why? You all know why. We expect the boat in the mining sector. This is the asset God gave us. And this asset, they must work for Zambians. It's a very simple matrix. But where there's no knowledge, it becomes a lopsided issue, it becomes an issue of hatred. My friend, we expect you to be a mine owner. When you're a mine owner, more Zambians. We expect you to pay taxes. We expect you partners that may bring capital to your mine so that the mine grows. Otherwise, you'll be a mine owner only, and you will never get value from the mine. We understand all of that. Which is, the externalization issue is not a matter, it's a matter of a legality, but the legal framework was structured wrong. Issues. You'll be very happy once we are through. Again, like the debt stock, very clear. They already know it anyway. Some have been talking for a long time. Some were surprised that there was no government that the benefits from mining will accrue to citizens to this country and to them as well. The government has done that. And you see, very soon, you see mining houses announcing expansion programs. You see mining houses employing more Zambians. That's why the currency will appreciate. Coming, and they know we are serious. They will come to the table for mutuality, win-win situation. But if you kill the cow, you kill the mine, whether it's owned by you or someone else, you will have no copper to take advantage of the best prices at the moment because of bad leadership. Good leadership has a right, which is a confirmation fight. Absolutely misunderstood. We have no fear that will prosecute us. No, it's not a quid pro quo, which is it. We have a zero tolerance to corruption, zero. But this is not a political, vindictive retribution, no. The professional bodies, the institutions that deal with that, which is it, will deal with that. The point is zero tolerance to corruption, not to corruption. You can't go out under the UPND government, you're a minister, and you give yourselves tenders. I'm sorry for colleagues who want to be ministers in this cabinet. You give yourself a tender at a high price because there's an issue of dues. We're not there for that. But the corruption point I'm making, it must not be used as a weapon to victimize others who are in office, including ordinary citizens. So it will be professional. One of the things we'll do is to strengthen the institutions, oversight institutions, that are operationally independent, funded properly, they do their investigations fairly, professionally. That's our message. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. We have come to the close to allow the President to rest. There will be many other forums, and you will have opportunity to ask your questions. Please hold on to them, and we'll give you an opportunity to do so. May I ask that we all be the national anthem, all the standards. Standing on
all of you, and wish you well. Have a good day. Thank you.
President-elect Hakainde Hichilema having a jovial moment at his residence, and he has itemized quite a number of things. But at least dilute what he has said, gets into reviewing almost all the points, except to mention that he has appreciated and thanked President Edgar Lungu for the recognition in the election, and he promises that indeed he will be an inclusive president for all Zambians. At the center of everything, citizens will come number one. He has mentioned, for example, in service provision to its citizens are like identical twins, and he says no citizen will be discriminated upon. All that will matter is you must be a Zambian citizen and to take up a particular role. He has already sent warnings to the cabinet to be. He says the cabinet must be to serve the Zambian people and